Hey, so this is a tutorial on creating a wireframe turntable in Maya 2011. So let's get started. So I have two objects in here. I have the top and bottom. I'm using this as a platform and I'm using this as an object. So if you had a character, this would be like your platform and this would be your character. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my object, go to Tune, select solid color, the solid color button right here, click that. It should change your object white like this. The next thing you want to do is click on this circle with the plus sign on it. It should create an outline around your object. The next thing you want to do is under profile lines, turn that off. Under border lines, turn that off. So these two options, turn them off. Scroll down, go to crease lines, click this down, and change your minimum to 0 and your maximum to 0. And we're about ready to render. So it's okay. The next thing I need to do is create a camera. So I'm going to hit spacebar, create camera, and hit W, and then bring the camera out. Oops. Bring the camera out right here. So I actually want to see what my camera is looking at. So I'm going to go up to Panels, Perspective, Camera 1. So it's a little close. So I'm going to zoom back out and position my camera to something that I like. And let's do a side view, and a top side view. So I'm not actually rendering this entire square right here. It's going to be smaller. So to see what this camera is actually going to be rendering, I'm going to go up to View, Camera Settings, and Resolution Gate. So I'm rendering this right here, in between here. So you notice that it's going to render. So if I was to hit render, it's going to render out an image that's 640 by 480. So to change that, I'm going to go to my render settings, which is this button up here. It should pop this window up. One thing to note, when you're using the Tune shader, you can't use Mental Ray. So you have to change your render settings from Mental Ray to Maya software. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my image format. I'm going to use JPEGs. You can use Targas, PNGs, whatever works for you. And another important thing you want to change is your frame animation extension. So the one you're going to use is the name dot extension right here, this one. And if you notice, this is how the name convention is going to be used right here. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to change my end frame to 360, hit enter. So it's going to render out 1 to 360. If you want to rename your files, all you have to do is go up here, name, prefix, and I'm going to change mine to Turntable and hit 1. So it's going to name Turntable 1 is my first frame to Turntable 360, which is my last frame. I'm going to change my preset, my resolution from 640 by 480 to a 1K square. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. And that is about it. So I'm going to close my render settings. So the next thing, I'm going to go back to my camera, my perspective camera actually, and I'm going to animate it because it's not actually rotating. So down here in this timetable right here, this line, I'm going to change this to 360, hit enter, 360, hit enter. And so I have a total of 360 frames that I'm working with, and I see all 360 frames down here. So the next step is to select your object and your platform. I find this to work the best, is to parent the two objects. So I'm selecting this as the child and this as the parent, and I'm hitting P. So if you notice that if I select the platform now, when I rotate it, it rotates the object on top. But if I select the object on top, it's only going to be rotate independently from the platform. And I'm going to open up my channels box over here, select my bottom object, and I'm going to keyframe it. So I'm going to turn on auto key down here and hit S. So right now it's keyframed this position. I'm going to move all the way to 360, go to rotate 360, hit enter, and it should auto key it. So you notice it rotates now, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh, one thing that I forgot about is to change your render camera from your perspective camera, which I'm looking through right now, to my camera that I created, to camera 1. Okay, close. After this, you're going to do a batch render. To do that, you're going to go up to your tab up here, go to rendering, go to render, go to batch render, like that. It should pop up another menu. If not, nope, it's rendering. So right down here, it's rendering your frames. Okay, hope this was helpful.